Play the Egyptian gods with unique text and very spicy ratios. Cue in the Egyptian god deck. What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr Wargames, and I am going to bring to you guys my very spicy, very weird ratioed deck for the Egyptian gods. This is a deck that I'm always working on. I've been putting it to a side for a moment just because I have been head first into Synchrons trying to get that deck to a way that I personally enjoy it, and I think I got that deck down, knuckled down. So now I'm back to the Egyptian gods. I'm going to be reworking this deck a bit, trying to meld it with Sacred Beasts, so if that gets eventually made to a point where I like it, expect that down the line. But this is a deck that I'm thoroughly enjoying playing, always enjoy playing. And the ratios I got down again seem very weird at first, but when you're actually playtesting it, and then you can realize that, oh, there's other ways to get the gods out, it all synergizes and melds very nicely. So before I get to it, if you enjoy, give us a like and subscribe down below, ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy a person's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that, and all of that is greatly appreciated, and we thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that said and done, let's get into this very spicy god card deck. So starting off with the gods themselves is literally one of each, one Slifer, one Obelisk, and one Ra, and one honorary god, the Ra Sphere mode. I don't play Phoenix mode because I feel like that is more dedicated to a Ra focused deck, and this deck is trying to utilize all the gods. So I'm only playing one of each because you have ways to search this. This is unfortunately unsearchable apart from one card which we play in the deck, and there's a way to get that search off. You'll see that in a minute. This is also technically searchable as well, which is very nice, which then means you can get into this with 4k attack and defense. So yeah, I really like the ratio here. I've never not get a god, which is very weird considering there's only one of them. But since you've got the mindset of I'm not aiming for a specific god, it just has to be a god, you get to one very quickly. Moving on to the first weird ratio is one queen, one king, one jack, and one joker. I'm playing the Poker Knight engine, but very weirdly. So you'll see why I've done it this way. But in all honesty, I'm going back and forth mentally on, do I want to just play one of each, or do I want to just bump them up to two? Because there are times when you're playing it, you want to resolve jokers straight again, but you don't have all the pokers back in the deck yet. So it's very weird. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that solution. That's why the Sacred Beast engine is also in my head, because that deck discards quite a lot, which is very nice. And there's also other ways I want to try and think of doing it, maybe things like Foolish Burial, so on and so forth. But there's extra spice in this deck that really melds well with jokers straight. And if you've seen our latest podcast episode, you've probably already guessed what it is. But yes, so one of each at the moment. The reason we're playing one Joker's Knight, not because it can copy a Joker's name, but because it also has the effect where when it's engraved, bring it back to hand shuffle. So it replenishes Slifer's attack points while also getting the pokers back into the deck. One thing I like to discard, because Joker Straight does discard, is Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime then searches your Ra support, which then not only gives you Ra to your hand, but also gives him attack and an additional normal summon of a Divine Beast, which is very handy. I like having cards in the deck that when they discard cards, I like to have valid good targets for them, so which is why Guardian Slime's good, Joker's Knight's good, so on and so forth, which is why I played that. I do have a way to get to Guardian Slime, actually, which is Crystal Gale. So I want to have additional good normal summons in the deck that isn't just the Poker Knights. And so Crystal Gale is actually one of those good cards because she can get to Guardian Slime, which then means you have good protection for next turn, at least for battle. And then Guardian Slime, if they do kill it, gets you a God support card. If they don't kill it, well, you're getting your God Slime on the board, which then gets you your God support anyway. So Crystal Gale is a nice little one of tech. It's also a 1-for-1 target along with Ada, the Heavenly Squire, along with the Transacanda to go with her. So this is another good 1-card normal summon for the deck, because Ada gets you to Transacanda. Transacanda, when it's special summoned, gets you a token. So that's 3 tributes already on board. You just need another way to get an additional normal summon, and then there you go from there. So what I like about this is that because Joker's Straight specifically states target 1 light warrior in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck, and if you do, add this card back to your hand, you technically can just shuffle back Ada the Heavenly Squire, and then you get more Squire usage out of her, and then you also get your Joker Straight back to your hand. So you've got really cool unique synergy going on there. It's still working testing. If I were to bump up the Poker Knights and just go for again for a more Poker Knight focused variant, this will just be taken out for your 1 each of the Jokers, and then maybe another, and then the another Joker's Knight. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, we have the 3 Jokers Straight, the 1 Voter, the 1-1-for-1. This is all your consistency cards. Just helps your plays keep going. Joker Straight is probably the best card in the deck still, because it gets you to your 3 summons without wasting your normal summon, which is very, very nice there. For more consistency, unfortunately this is not on a budget, but you're having to play Pot of Extravagance. You can play Pot of Prosperity if you have a higher budget, but I had these lying around because I took them out of my the deck they were in at the time. So I thought, oh, this is a perfect deck for it, because I don't really need my normal summon, because I'm basing the whole deck on the Egyptian gods. They are my boss monsters overall, so this is a perfect card for this deck. Moving on, we have the 2 Ancient Chants, and because it just locks you out drawing cards, you can still search, I believe, so that's also pretty good. Yeah, so you cannot draw cards. Very, very nice. So the 2 Ancient Chants and the 1 Blaze Cannon for the Ra support searching, but then we're also playing the 1 Thunder Force attack. This is the only other card in the deck that lets you draw, so if you're playing Extravagance, you can't resolve Thunder Force on your own turn to the best you can, but I like to use this as a disruptive card. Moving on, more additional normal summons. We're having the 2 Thunder Speed summons. This also searches your Saliva and your Ras. And then we're also playing the 1 Soul Crossing. I like to take this card in as a 3rd copy of this, though if you wanted to, you can just play 3 copies of this. 1 copy of Pot of Avarice, just because you can burn through your deck quite easily, and this is another way to get all your pokers back into the deck. And then we're playing the 3 copies of Mounterbound Creator. It would be a big shame to put so much effort, slightly minimal as it is now, into an Egyptian god, to then just have it beaten over or popped by something. So we're playing Mounterbound Creator to give your gods protection, and then it also comes with another card later on. To man up the spells, we're playing the 1 Call by the Grave, Call by the Grave, and then 3 copies of Joker's Wild. This is just essentially 3 copies of any Joker card in your deck, which is just fantastic. The last of the main deck we're playing is the 1 Spicy Tech Magical Hats. Why are we playing Magical Hats? Because you can protect your monsters by using Magical Hats, and then setting down 2 Mounterbound Creators, which then if they kill it, you get a god. So you get inconsistency through your Egyptian gods while also protecting a monster on the board through magical hats, which is very, very funny, very, very spicy. Other engines that I would recommend for this deck, because this is essentially engine god.deck, is you could, funny enough, just take in the Dark Magician support. I would probably take out again the Monarch engine, and then the Crystal Gale, and then you can also put in, like, maybe reduce the Guardian Slime to 2, and then you can put in the Dark Magician engine, because True Name is another way to search the gods, while also giving you a god on the board if it's not Ra. So that's also another little spicy engine you can play in this deck. For the extra deck, you're not really going to it much other than your Guardian Slime pretty much, and then some of the cards in here are because of the, as I mentioned, the Sacred Beast engine I've been playing around with. So you're playing your 1 Guardian Egyptian God Slime. You only really need 1. The 1 Arcane Knight Joker, Geartier, Gearfried, and Egerton, because if you want to play the fusion support, this is basically 15 cards, 14 Guardian Slang plus 14 cards for Extravagance. So you've got your Stylish Paladynamo, because you can make this with your pokers, your Utopias of number 39 and Lightning. Bow of the Goddess, I thought, it's a god card. Technically, it is a goddess. One Arcane Knight, extra Joker. You can't play the Poker Knights without this card. You're playing your 2 Izolds, also going for the Poker Knights. And you got your 1 Almirage as well. And this was for the Sacred Beast engine that I was thinking of, because you can just make this, dump anything, and then just get said card back. Yeah, later on. Yes, that is the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below what you're doing with your Egyptian God deck. There's so many variants going around, so many ways to play Egyptian gods. There's even God Synchro out there, which is pretty interesting. But yes, let me know what you're playing. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, stay safe and happy dueling.